All right, friends, super easy step today. So if you haven't finished up your drawing because you maybe needed a little bit more time, go ahead and do that. When you are done, remember just to erase out any of your measurement lines, including that one that goes through your scalp. That's super important because believe it or not, people think that's part of their head and then they trace it and now you've got this permanent headband on your head. When you are ready then, you're going to take your regular Sharpie from your bag, not your fine tip. The regular one looks the best. You just have to trust me. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to start tracing. It's really up to you with where you want to trace first. I am not picky about what you choose and when you choose to trace it, but just go nice and slow, go carefully, and kind of check yourself as you're working. That's it for today. Super easy step is just to trace everything in Sharpie and then erase out any sort of remaining pencil lines. The next step will be to start painting, and so that's going to be a completely different tutorial. And we'll have to talk about how to mix our skin color and all that kind of good stuff. Do not add any texture to your eyebrows. I know that might seem like what you want to do, but I promise you, you will prefer them the more simple they are. So even our eyes here, we're using our big Sharpie. Yours are brand new Sharpies. Mine's a little bit more used, but you should still have a nice fine tip. And just go again nice and careful as you go. You can color in your pupils all the way. And then if you added eyelashes, you can add those in, but again, less is more. Okay, so now my eyes are done and I'm moving on to my nose. If you are ready to work, feel free to get started. You do not need to wait for me. I do need to add in, remember that line that we talked about from our eyebrow to our nose. I don't think I drew that in yesterday. And it's really subtle, nothing crazy. It just helps give you a little bit more bone structure. And then I am not even going to bother with teeth. I know I talked about that, but I think this is a small enough drawing where it's unnecessary. All right, so once you get to your body, I still want you to use your regular Sharpie. But if you have some tiny details that are just absolutely impossible to do without a finer tip, go ahead and do that. I am going to do that with my earrings, I think. And then probably like with my paintbrush or maybe like my shoe detail in here. But I'm going to still do like the bulk of my clothing and stuff with that regular Sharpie. Just that fine tip Sharpie is just a little bit wiggly, and I know that sounds like it's a weird statement to make, but it's wiggly in the sense that you just have a little bit less control over it because it's such a fine tip. So when I grab my fine tip, I really am just using that, you know, for those areas like my earrings or details in here, where like the big Sharpie would just basically cover everything up and then you wouldn't be able to see the detail anymore. So making that pockets in here. I'm going to change. I'm not going to use that pocket that I initially drew. I'm going to draw my My U of I apron is the one I wear the most. So I'll add that block eye there. And then I'll go in and clean up my sandals. And they're not great. I don't like to draw feet. I feel like I could have done better with my sandals, but it is what it is. I just did it in Sharpie, so there's no going back now. Draw that thickness underneath my sandal. That'll help a little bit. There we go. Alright, I just realized I wasn't looking in the camera at all for this entire tutorial. The only thing I'm going to do is go back to my regular Sharpie and just add in those kind of style lines in my hair a little bit. Nothing crazy. Nothing over the top. Not too many. Just really think about like what might accentuate your hair the best possible. All right, and there is me in caricature form. Again, when you are done, grab your magic rub and go through and erase out everything. Because you're using Sharpie, it won't smear. And now you are ready and prepped to start painting. Get excited, everybody. Whoop, whoop. Clean it off. And voila, you are done. Some people have asked about like backgrounds and things. As long as you filled the majority of your paper, don't worry about that at all. If you feel like something is a little incomplete, if you wanted to draw like a horizon line back here, I'll do it in a pencil, like, and you wanted to give yourself like land to be on, like if you're playing soccer and you want grass or something like that, feel free, you know, to add accessories. If you really feel like you want to fill up the space, or at least give yourself a horizon line to stand on. It's completely up to you. All right, guys, have a good one. That's it for today.